Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I missed so much. Yeah, I had to go. I really did have to go. But, really, I shouldn't have left, you guys. Because we have this PDS tornado warning currently in effect for this storm. You can see there is some rotation that remains on it near Orville and Mount Carmel. But this was just such a... This is just such a catastrophic storm. It keeps producing tornadoes and tornadoes and tornadoes. And now this storm is also producing tornadoes. It recently stopped, though. I think it's in here now. Wait. Alright, so here's some 60 mile per hour wind, severe thunderstorm warning for Princeton. This is now turning into a line that is developing over here near Evansville. It is quickly approaching into the Evansville area, and we still have a few supercells that are continuing to be capable of producing tornadoes. Specifically this one near Jasper, which still has some rotation on it. You can see those reds next to the greens, which indicates some rotation with the storm. And you can see that this is just a very active picture all across southern Indiana as it remains. All from this tropical system, Beryl, which is no longer a tropical system, it's now extratropical, as it has lifted into land and lost all tropical characteristics because of that. So we are just watching these 3 tornado warnings active. There are currently 3. One of them is PDS, so we still have to watch that very carefully, and this is still a potentially life-threatening situation ongoing near Orville. However, I don't see much of a debris ball anymore. It may still exist, it's just hard to tell. I think it's this. Yeah, I think it might be that. It's that. So this is a tornado on the ground, from what it appears. Right here. Right here, that's a tornado on the ground. Okay. So, they discontinued the one behind this, but still they're continuing the tornado warning, the PDS tornado warning for Little Rock, Orville, Beale, and St. Thomas in Indiana. All of those places need to be in their safe spot. This is a life-threatening situation right now. This Jasper tornado warning has been extended. So the rotation on that has looked interesting, and they have extended that because of that. Even though it is weakening at the moment, so I don't know. Still a life-threatening situation as the moment. You can see a few reports of tornadoes coming in. One near Morganfield. And one near Mount Vernon. This is all in Indiana. And Kentucky. This is almost in Illinois. Almost in Illinois. So be aware along the Illinois-Indiana border. Along, what river is this? The Wabash River. The Wabash River. Still a 10% tornado risk in effect. It's in effect. See the history of this tropical cyclone that entered into Texas and is now causing all of this trouble in the Ohio River Valley. All of this trouble. This used to be much stronger. And you can see there was another rotation developing there, but that just turned into straight line wind threat. You can see the history. If we go back a few frames, you can see the history of this dangerous tornado. So it started all the way from here, quickly intensified, intensified some more through Mount Vernon, and then intensified all the way through there, through Mount Carmel. Just a very dangerous storm. We were covering the beginning of it, and now the end. Hopefully. Even though this could still continue on. It's not a supercell. I think it's embedded in the line now, though, so that is some good news, because the tornadoes are less likely when they're embedded into the line. A line of straight-line damaging winds, that is. Let's see if we can get any cameras. I did have one camera right here. In Vincennes. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on because of the raindrops, but you can see there is a storm in the background, and that is that straight-line damaging wind threat that is quickly encroaching on Vincennes. Right here. There's Vincennes. It's right next to the tornado warning. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, correct me. This is going away, so that's good news. Oh, jeez. Look at this. A little bit tighter of rotation. Like, very strong winds, mostly. It's just very strong winds, but sometimes those strong winds can cause some winds to feed into it, and that's when that inflow comes, and then you might get a tornado. So I'm really hoping that doesn't occur. Doesn't look like it's occurring yet. But this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And like I did say before, that usually severe thunderstorm warnings aren't a thing in tropical cyclones. But when a tropical cyclone is this weak and this far away from being a tropical cyclone, then it more behaves like a regular severe weather event. Usually. It doesn't actually become a severe weather event. But sometimes it does, like it is here. My goodness. Thankfully, things are calming down. I think I can say for sure that this isn't a dangerous tornado. Let's look at that camera in Indiana again. Very dark picture. Well, that's what it used to be. You can see some dark clouds still remain in Vincennes. This is looking northeast, though, so I believe this is looking at a completely different storm. This storm, which almost has a hook to it, but it doesn't quite. It's kind of disconnected, which sometimes tornadoes can form from that, but no rotation on it. You could still see some rotation over here near Portersville. That's probably why they're keeping the warning on this. No CC drops, so this is definitely not on the ground. You can see this is sort of a supercell merging with another one. So maybe that will inhibit the tornado activity. Usually it does, but sometimes it can increase it. So we'll see. Good news. Even despite all the stuff we saw in Indiana, this threat in Tennessee is not really materializing. It was supposed to be a tornado threat in Tennessee, but it's not really materializing. I guess all these storms are moving north, so that's why. They're kind of moving all past this area. Still have this special weather statement near Louisville. So that looks moderately interesting. But no rotation on it, so that's good news. This is what we saw. Let me see if we ever saw the tornado here. I'm just trying to... Only shows 350 here. Let me refresh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know what happened there. Oh, look at that storm. You can see the base on it. It's what it was before. This is not happening now, just so you know. It's so weird. When I go back here, and it looks like this. But when I go back and go this way, it looks like that. Kind of strange. Not sure what that's about. Let's see if we can get a camera in Louisville. Here's a good view. Let me update this every now and then. That's a good view in Louisville. We do have a special weather statement there, which isn't too concerning. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. This is down to radar indicated, but it's starting to wrap up again. This is now a QLCS tornado threat, which basically means that if these tornadoes occur embedded in the line, they'll be QLCS. QLCS is basically a linear system. It's a linear wind system. Quasi-linear convective system. This is a quasi-linear convective system that we're seeing right here. It's convective. It's made up of storms. And it's just a big old pack of wind. But sometimes those winds can drag winds into them through inflow. And then the output, possible tornado. And we're seeing it here. It's just a gust front at the moment. But you can see some rotation is starting to develop. It's starting to get into inflow. Sometimes when we get these gust fronts, then you can get that inflow. And that is beginning to occur. Is it on the ground still? Let me see. No, it's not on the ground still, but it might be back on the ground soon. So we'll watch. This is heading right towards Vincennes. Just to the east of Vincennes, which means that this camera has the best view on it. You can see some dark clouds. This is facing northeast, but that's where this tornado would go. To the northeast of this camera. But we're unsure if this is going to become a tornado yet. Still a gust front at the moment, but we'll see. Alright, let me get rid of all these extra frames. Yeah, you see the original tornado that went near Mount Carmel has now since dissipated. It's still there, the rotation, but now we're seeing another storm develop over here near Patoka. So that is the storm that we're trying to watch now. Does look interesting. It's trying to develop that. And you can see this is the bookend vortex. The bookend vortex is when this QLCS system moves back and then gets that inflow. This is how it gets that inflow in. By moving backwards. Sort of like a backward C shape. Still see these supercells out here. Usually these supercells are the ones that produce tornadoes. And I think this was a supercell that produced the tornadoes over here, but then it merged into the line. But we still have a continued tornado threat with this as this line continues. So we're not done yet. It's just weaker tornadoes usually. Usually these QLCS tornadoes are weaker because the inflow usually isn't that... It can't be that strong. The inflow isn't... The storm isn't strong enough to give itself an extremely strong inflow to produce a large tornado. But sometimes we can get larger tornadoes. Still can happen. Anything can happen with what we've seen over the past few days. Jeez, this makes me worry for tomorrow. This really does. And this will be in upstate New York. They are not used to these storms. I am just honestly telling you, tomorrow's going to be crazy. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. I mean, it's probably not going to be crazier than any of the days we have seen so far. But it's going to be crazy for the area that it's in. And what I looked at the models, it almost looked like tomorrow had better conditions than today. Which is just, that's not good. I really hope not too much happens tomorrow. It's just a 5% at the moment, but it'll likely increase to a 10%. I'm telling you, this increased to a 10%, yesterday increased to a 10%, tomorrow's going to increase to a 10%, even if it's in New York. Does not matter. There's just a little bit less cape. There's a little bit less of that significant tornado parameter. There's a little bit less good conditions in those areas. But it looks like storms are more likely to fire. Especially towards the Albany area. We really have to watch out tomorrow. But let's not talk about tomorrow yet. We still have to get through today. Where we still have this bookend vortex continuing to create rotation. And that is starting to become closer to the rotation rather than a gust front. Should move up to here next again, because it's currently not matching up with the reflectivity yet. I bet it will soon. Thanks for the likes, everyone. It really is appreciated. I just want to get this out to as many people as possible so they're aware of these tornado warnings. I really do. And likes help with that. Let's watch this cam in Vincennes again. Not too much going on here, but that is where the tornado is near. So we do have to watch out near Vincennes. Just repositioning. I know that's a storm chaser term. I don't know why I said that. Alright, good news with this. This is definitely weakened. It looked concerning for a second, but now it is weakened. I mean, not concerning. I meant, like, interesting. Or notable. But this does seem like it's weakening. The gust front is getting a bit weaker, and the inflow is having a more difficulty getting trained into the system. See, that is how brief QLSES tornadoes too. They're not only weak, they're brief. Because you can only get that inflow for so long before the line overtakes the system again. So we're just going to have a bunch of those weak, brief spin-up tornadoes. Probably from this line. But we'll have to see. The question is this still considered a rain band? I don't think so. Still not considered a rain band of the hurricane. So still watching, but of course the activity dies down whenever I go on Livestream. Which is good. Maybe I should go live more. It's a superpower. Looking at this camera in Vincennes, not too much going on, especially since that tornado has, whatever it was, this rotation has died down since, but we still have a gust front. Still a bit of the stronger wind bag. Tornado threat could actually carry all the way into Cleveland, but that's not for a while, so let's not worry about that yet. It did say that the tornado threat was going to decrease from here, though, so it looks like we might get a weakening of the event, and that might have been the only big tornado we saw. Well, tornadoes. It was tornadoes. It was several tornadoes, but it went right through Mount Vernon, so that's still enough. It only takes one. Only takes one. And it wasn't even one. It was like several. Just check. Not really. It's not really wrapping up more. Still has some of these special weather statements, so we still gotta watch them. I mean, this one still kinda has rotation, but it's not that much. Still only like halfway through the tornado watch, though, so I'm wondering if we are going to get some storms that fire near Cincinnati. That could be a possibility. Still have some rotation here on this extra supercell near Alfredsville, towards Lugudi. That system doesn't look as classic for supercell, but it's still looking interesting. You can see that rotation. Looking back at Vincennes, you can see that wind is beginning to move in. Some cars are still moving by, but you can see some rain starting to pick up as the system moves in. Yeah, this is the main threat we have right now, so I'm not even going to say tornado possible right now. Nah, it's not an outbreak. Alright, I just fixed that. This is strengthening a little bit. Let's see, some brighter colors there, so may have to look at this more closely. It's only radar indicated at the moment. I don't think it's on the ground. Yeah, it's not. We still have to watch that for a potential tornado. We really do. I do want to say that the NWS here has done a good job. They issued PDS tornado warnings at the correct times. Still looking at our cam in Vincennes. Not too much going on. Let's see if we can get a camera near Alfredsville. We do have one in Lugudi. It's raining a little bit there. Definitely pretty heavily, so maybe there'll be a flood threat, but that's just from this system that we're seeing in Lugudi. So we'll watch. That special weather statement from within Louisville is gone. But we still could get these small little supercells. There's still supercells that develop here. Oh jeez, this is producing... Is that producing hail? Weird. Yeah, that's very rare. If it is producing hail, that's very rare for a tropical cyclone. Even its remnants. We were not expecting hail. But this is getting a hook. And that is some rotation. It is a little, not too much, but right near Jackson. We still have to watch out for some potential rotation near Versailles. Still have this potential. Honestly, on this radar, it is a little less, this rotation, but it's still there. Still over here. It is a little bit less. So it might not be as strong as we think. Even though on here, it's getting stronger. So, I don't know. This camera is right in the path of it. But I don't know if we'll see anything, because it's not really a sky view. Be right back. Back. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna really need Tennessee, because it doesn't look like those storms are firing, really. I mean, we were expecting that threat to be earlier in the day, too, because the system's moving northeast. We still have this one storm near Nashville. I have no idea what I just did. It's right near the radar. No rotation on it, but still some small storms in Tennessee. Yeah, they discontinued the tornado watch for Tennessee, so that goes to show that Tennessee isn't really doing much. That is good for Tennessee. Still got a little bit of rotation here, even though it's kind of... It looks like there's another hook trying to develop back here. That was the old hook, but it looks like it's now weakening or something. Even though it's still really strong on this radar. I don't know. That later's a little farther away, so I wouldn't fully trust it. Is that? No. Let me see storm relative. Yeah, that really isn't that much rotation on this. So, I don't know, that's a little confusing. This barely has any rotation. Barely. Definitely a rainy picture over here. As it remains in Lugudi. I don't know now, it's strengthening on this radar. So I don't know. A little. Not that much. Let me see storm relative. It is a little. Not that much, but it is a little. Oh, what is this? Near Orangeville. The heck is that? Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, that's in the inflow. It's not matching up. You can tell it's not real rotation when it's not matching up with the reflectivity. I don't know. The storm could have some small hail. Let me see how many DBZ values that is. 61. This could have small hail. Are they saying? Yeah, penny-sized hail. We weren't expecting hail with this. Usually we don't see with tropical cyclones, but you know, it can happen when there's enough dry air. Enough dry air to get colder, less moist air in the upper air levels. Some winds are picking up here. There's a little bit of winds in this storm. Did have a severe thunderstorm attached to it before. Now it's gone. Does look interesting. Near Hindostan Falls in Mount Pleasant. Still looks interesting here, a little less interesting than it used to. Still strong, though, on this radar. But, alas, we look at this, because that's more trustworthy. And you can see that really isn't that much rotation. It is a little, but on storm relative, it isn't. Just looking over here. Some strong thunderstorms, no water spouts. Sometimes when there's special marine warnings are issued, there's water spouts, but none here. Looking at that camera in Lagudi. Very foggy situation that is unfolding here. Definitely a stronger storm. Not too strong, though. It's just rainy. But yeah, Lagudi is in that, which would be the hail core, but of course this is not a hailer. Or a hailstorm. This is just a regular supercell, even though some supercells produce hail. Most do. But of course, this is a tropical system. Still have a lot of the 10% left to go. So, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, very rainy over there. They're gonna let this tornado warning expire. There's not even a good inflow on this. The outflow, I meant. What, is it inflow? No, outflow. It's not even a good gust front. Not even good gust fronts. This is interesting. I don't know, that kind of is in the clear air. The air where there isn't reflectivity. Oh, new tornado warning for this storm. I guess it has some rotation on it. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not anything too insane, but still, I would be in your safe spot if you live in Jackson, Indiana, up there towards Laffreyville? Something like that. Napoleon, Lookout, Belmer, Corner, Clinton, Batesville, Crossroads, Osgood, Delaware, Prattsburg, Lowry Switch, Allen Crossing, Otter Village, Dabney, Holton, Indiana. It's a new tornado warning. 3 currently active. Let's see in storm relative. Yeah, that's some rotation over here. That is a supercell out in front of the main line, so we'll see how that interacts with the environment. Here, let me see if I can get cameras over there. Where is this? Near Batesville. I mean, we could also look over here. Nah. My camera's not that good. Oh, this is a great view. It does look like there's a storm over there. Yeah, but that's looking to the east. So I don't know what storm that they're looking at. Not bad. You can also see it from this radar. I mean, it's kind of far away, but there is some rotation. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're looking at. Let me see from the Indianapolis radar. I need to be right back. I'm back. Had to eat dinner. I was still using my computer a little bit, because I bring my computer to the table, but... oh, whatever. So, we're still watching this area. Oh, both of those tornado warnings are back. They actually disappeared briefly if you didn't catch them. Oh my gosh, this is observed. Radar confirmed. I don't know. It doesn't look that intense. Guess it was intense before. I don't know. That doesn't look that intense. I mean, that is a debris ball, so I don't know. That is strange. Not much rotation on it. Let me see a storm relative. Does look like it weakened on the latest scan, though. You see, it's only greens now. So that is good news. This is a radar indicated tornado warning near the Goody. That place again. Still have this tornado warning near Versailles. Still rotation on it. Let me see if there's one near. We do have one near Versailles. But it's not really a good view of anything. Let me see. Got this one. That's a good view. That's looking west. Let me see. Sort of looking into the storm. Sort of looking into this storm, actually. Which does have a bit of a hook to it. And small rotation. Let me see if I can find one near St. Leon and Harrison. Right here? Right here. That's a good view. Fairview. That sounds like a town name. Tornado possible tag on this storm. A little bit of rotation. Still a little bit of rotation on this. A little less than probably what we were expecting. But let's see if the CC drop is still there. Still is. Huh? What? Okay, Radar Omega just shut down. That's great. So awesome. Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Alright, so we are entering out of the 10% risk, so these storms that are on the northern side probably will weaken eventually. Oh, what is that? Is that a debris ball? That could be. Right near Napoleon. God, that looks like a debris ball. I want to wait one more scan. I'm going to wait one more scan to just make sure that's not a debris ball. That is right near Indianapolis, but not like that close to Indianapolis. It's like 50 miles off. I don't think it's even in the metro. Near Greensburg. That really could be a debris ball. Let me see. I don't know. It hasn't caught up yet. Let's see if we can see it. We can sort of see it from this radar. It's a little hard. It's a little difficult. That really isn't that much rotation over here. Still a hook on it, though. This is the closest radar, it seems. The Indianapolis radar. Is that the people? Still unsure. Don't know. Could be. But we don't know. So it's still observed because we did see that brief tornado. Let's see if that's still on the ground. No. Yeah. I mean, that might be debris fallout. Basically, debris fallout is when a storm has already touched the ground, but now is lifted, but the debris can't go anywhere else, so it just stays. So we could be seeing that, but I don't know. I'm glad this Tennessee threat didn't materialize. Even though we're still seeing some storms. But they're not very strong. Still watching this one up here, near Napoleon. I don't know. It did look like it was on the ground for a second, but now it doesn't. So I don't think it is. But we'll see. We'll see if they survey out there and then get a tornado. I mean, that sometimes happens. There we go. It's Jay again. Hello, Jay. Not much to say at the moment. I mean, these aren't that intense tornado warnings, so that is good. I'm still interested in tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be very interesting, but we're not at tomorrow yet, so we'll see if we do get another tornado, but I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen for the rest of the night. We are entering out of this tornado watch soon, though. So that is good. Near Cincinnati. So this is what we're looking at. Still a 10% tornado risk, but that isn't updated yet, so. This looks interesting, but I don't think it's materializing much. I don't know, we still have the southern risk really hasn't materialized. It's mostly the northern part of this risk. We still have some storms in the southern part here. Just not nearly as much. I have this one near Campbellsville, but this one near LaGrange. Which looks interesting, but I don't think it's doing much. Yeah, Kentucky didn't really have it that much. It's mostly Indiana. And a little bit of Kentucky over here near Morganfield. We did some stuff. Let me just see if I can comprehend what he said. Or them. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, in the northern portion of Puerto Rico, there is some tornadoes from those, like, wind currents that move on. In Aguadilla. Okay. In Aguadilla. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I sort of understand that. Of course, I don't speak Spanish, but I know some. And I know you probably don't know English. I mean, if you do, that's fine, but I kind of said that all in English. Oh, geez. Okay, this is looking interesting. This is getting some slightly bigger velocity signatures. So we do have to watch this. That's not a debris ball, so don't worry, it's not on the ground. But this is getting stronger. This is getting stronger. Yeah, on the storm relative, it also shows it. So right here, near Burn City, towards Owensburg, you can see some tornado potential. It's heading towards Bloomington, so we'll see. That would head towards Indianapolis, so the western side specifically. But that's in the long future. Wow, I don't know what Shaqueen means. Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't know. I mean, tormentas eléctricas. Let me see what that is. Electric storms, thunderstorms. I mean, let me see if there's thunderstorms currently in Puerto Rico. I need to see. You can check that. Not really. Let me see where that place you were talking about was. Aguadilla. Right here. Oh yeah, there is some storms nearby. You're right, there is some storms nearby. Yeah. Just be aware that there's some storms nearby you in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. Not any strong storms, but there is. 3 tornado warnings currently active. Ah, my bad. I'm sorry about that. Keep opening Discord. Ballstown, Crossroads, Batesville, being your safe spot. There is a possible tornado approaching towards you. We aren't sure if it's on the ground at the moment. Could be, but we don't know. Just has some rotation and could produce a tornado at any moment. Vincennes is in a tornado warning. I didn't realize that they were actually in it now. And that was the observed one. I mean, really, we could have seen it on that camera, but I guess it's too late now. There's a little area of rotation over here. Let me see that in Storm Relative. Yeah, there's some rotation over here near Indian Creek Settlement. So we'll watch that. Maybe they'll extend that. There's a lot of rotation on this. At least in terms of Storm Relative. That might be a new... That was that storm that kind of was strengthening a little bit. Yeah, there's some rotation on that, so we do have to watch that. It's a little less than it was before, but it is approaching towards Interstate 69 near Clear Creek. You can see some of the darker clouds coming in, or is that the sky? I'm unsure. I think it's darker clouds. On the left, you see them. That's the storm moving in from the south into this direction. There's this camera. It's near St. Leon. Let's look at this again. It's still kind of hard to see, but you can see it a little. Let's see from this radar. Yeah, there's some rotation. Sorry about that voice crack. Hard to see the rotation on this storm from that angle, though. It does look like it actually weakened. What is that? That is really hard to tell what that is, but I don't think that's a CC drop. It doesn't look like it. Let's see, there's like 2 separate areas of rotation now developing on either side of this. I believe that's 2 areas of rotation. I mean, one of them's kind of in the inflow. I don't know, things are calming down, so that's good. We're still not done yet, but I do think things are gonna begin to calm down from here. Which is good news. Tomorrow's a different story, and we'll have to set that story aside for now. It's been insane with this tropical system, man. Tornado after tornado. All with a tropical storm. Bill's been insane. Bill's been belligerent. I don't know if I'm using that word right. Bill's been big. It's been big. It's been quite a bit. Bale's been a bit. But it's finally dying off. Thank God. Oh, jeez. Okay. That looks more concerning than it actually is. But this is still hooking. Still has a hook to it. Near Ballstown. It's going directly over Ballstown. Alright, so this one near Vincennes was allowed to expire, which makes sense because the rotation on that is kind of failing. You can see that this original area of rotation is kind of gone. But now this one is developing. Even though, let me see if it's still in the inflow. Sort of is, so I don't know if that can be trusted. We'll see. I think I'm gonna end this soon because not too much activity is happening. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. Still might remain on for a little bit, but if we get down to 0 tornado warnings, then I think I'll turn it off. Of course, that's when activity is gonna start picking up, isn't it? Whenever I'm not live. Do you have this severe thunderstorm warning in North Dakota? Let me look at that. Just because we don't have too much active right now. Had some hail with it before. It's kind of weakened. Still just these 2 tornado warnings at the moment. Oh, one of them was expired. This one. This one near Batesville. Yeah, that rotation wasn't that much, so it's only this one left, which really doesn't look that good on this radar. It looks better on this, even though that's a little blocky, so that could be side lobe. When it's kind of blocky like that, that could be side lobe. Basically, side lobe is when one of the radar beams goes above the rest of the radar beams. Like, the Earth is curved, so basically the radar beams, as they go further into the distance from where the radar is, then they move higher up into the atmosphere. Some of them, though, move higher up into the atmosphere too quickly, and they catch the rotation, then it's a little bit farther up in the atmosphere. And that's not true rotation, because it's not on the ground, so it's not producing a tornado. And it could also be hail. Hail could also be causing this, but I don't think so in this case, because there's no hail with these storms. You hear my parents in the background? Yeah, I think that's it, everybody. I mean, we're down to 1 tornado warning. I mean, I think I'm gonna wait until this expires and then we'll be done. Which is around 8 p.m. Things really have calmed down, which is good news. It did seem like it was only gonna happen until, like, around now. So that is some good news. It really, this eastern part didn't really materialize. So far, of course, it could materialize soon. It was really this northwestern part. This northwestern part really had a lot to it. Still seeing some rotation on this storm, so maybe they'll warn this. That could be possible near Bedford. It does look like it's correlating to the reflectivity. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, jeez. Is that a wall cloud? It looks like it. Crossing right over the highway. That was a previously tornado warned storm. No longer tornado warned anymore. But definitely had some potential to it for a little bit. Yeah, right over Batesville. This is where that storm is going. That's where that storm is. You can see a bit. It almost looks like a wall cloud. I don't think it is. It's just a base. Or maybe it's a shelf cloud. It could also be a shelf cloud. But a shelf cloud looks a little different than that, so. Yeah, I think it's just a shelf cloud. Still, shelf clouds can be intense. Yeah, but once that tornado warning expires, we'll be done. It's actually moved out of the warning, so I don't know what they're going to do to it. I mean, they might extend it. Because it still has some rotation to it. Even though it's a little blocky, and it's kind of in the inflow. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to that warning. They might let this expire. They could put a tornado warning on this, though. Even though that kind of has weakened as well. Sort of. They could warn this. That would be for Harrodsburg, Guthrie, Smithville, Clear Creek, all the way up to Bloomington, probably. Which is a pretty populated area. We're getting some of these storms near Indianapolis now, but it's still pretty far away from the downtown. Barely any rotation on them, but a little bit. We're not really expecting too much in the Indianapolis area. There is still a 5% tornado risk for that region, specifically the southern areas of Indianapolis. But it looks like most of the activity has occurred south. In your state, yes, Indiana. But, oh, okay. They're not gonna let this expire. Yeah, that's looking strong. Alright, so we're going to stay on for a little bit longer, unless if this dies. But yeah, they're definitely gonna extend this, though. Because it's already out of the warning. It's gonna cross Interstate 69 any moment. Let's see if we have a camera there. South of Bloomington. We do have one over here. Can't see much. Let me just go back to that view that we were watching. Yeah, I think maybe that's just a shelf cloud. Or it could even just be a rain shadow, but that looks interesting. Definitely not a tornado. I can say that for sure. Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning for this got taken off too, so this is just a storm with a shelf cloud. Or something. Yeah, this is still strong rotation, so they might continue the warning. I'm surprised they haven't yet, but, you know, take your time. But yeah, I probably would ask Bloomfield, Bridgeport, Tanner, Cincinnati, Hobbyville, Salisbury, Newark, Hendricksville, Calvertville, Mineral City, and Colleen. You probably should be in your safe spot now, or at least close to it. Because this likely is a tornado. Well. Oh. Really? Extend this as a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. Not a tornado warning. Yeah, I don't know about that. That kind of looks like rotation. I guess it sort of is in the inflow. It's sort of in the part of the storm where it doesn't match up with the reflectivity fully. So I guess I see why they might not consider it rotation, but it still looks like it. What is this? I'm surprised they didn't extend the tornado warning, because that looked like rotation. It could not be, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, interesting little storm, but it looks like a shelf cloud only. This is actually kind of weakening anyway, so... Still there. Crossing over Interstate 69 now. But it does look like things are calming down across the board. I have no idea what that is. I think that's just hail contamination, or maybe, you know, usually CC drop if there's contamination. Then it's just like hail. Hail sometimes actually does cause damage. It really that's a measure of damage, things in the air that's not supposed to be there. That's what CC is. I'm gonna end this tornado warning any moment, and then we'll be gone. Ah! It's gone. Let me just check one more scan with this, just to see if it doesn't strengthen or anything. And that means we have no tornado warnings active. Hooray! So it looks like things are finally winding down, which is good. Weaken a little. It doesn't look too concerning. I mean, that could still have a tornado warning on it. But it kinda is in the inflow, so... To be honest, I don't think that's rotation. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. It's been a long day, I guess, for all of us, especially with this tornado threat. It's gonna be another long day tomorrow. That's what I'll be streaming tomorrow. So, sorry for missing most of it, but, you know, I was able to get something. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to subscribe, like the video. If you don't know whether to turn on notifications, if you don't know what notifications are, please, if you don't know what the notifications are, they're right next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to like this video. I don't care if you dislike. If you really didn't like this video, fine, dislike. But anyways, guys, isn't it just so refreshing, so understanding of you to just decide to go on the Morris Data on the Road freeway? Isn't that just makes so much more sense to go on the Morris Data on the Road freeway? Goodbye, guys.